Okay, let's get into this. Francis Ngannou, Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua versus Francis Ngannou. Big fight. A fight that Joshua and his team ridiculed. Said it was a gimmick fight. So much of a gimmick that now, after fighting Tyson Fury on Ngannou, Joshua has now stepped in the line to fight Ngannou. Interesting. Ngannou is on the UFC 4 game. Joshua was in the UFC 4 game. Tyson Fury is in the UFC 4 game. Based on just playing the UFC 4 game with Joshua and Ngannou, Joshua's in for a hard night. People say, what are you talking about, man? It's only a video game. Let me break this down to you. Anthony Joshua, throughout his career, and I think it's an illusion, throughout his career, people think that he's a one-punch knockout artist. But who has Anthony Joshua knocked out in the first couple of rounds that's legitimately world-class? I don't know anybody he's done it to. He's knocked out guys on the way up. And the old Joshua, the over-aggressive Joshua. The over-aggressive Joshua that got tagged by Dillian Whyte, and if Dillian Whyte wasn't injured, could have finished him there. Then the fight against Klitschko, where he got dropped and Klitschko decided, you know what, I'm going to let you off the hook and try and go for you later. And then, of course, it all caught up with him against Andy Ruiz, which I said it would happen. You see here, this fight with Ngannou, people talking about, Ngannou's not he's not an experienced boxer. You boxing people, right? I don't include myself in this one. You boxing people are concerned, seriously concerned, because if Ngannou beats a golden boy in Anthony Joshua, he almost beat upset Fury, and I think that was political because they want Fury and Usyk to fight, so they want Ngannou upsetting that. But if Ngannou were to beat Joshua, Joshua won't get the same sort of favours that Tyson Fury got. I can assure you now. So if it goes to points, and Ngannou's dropped Joshua one or two times, Joshua will not get that sort of same sort of luxury that Fury had. I'm telling you that now. So like I said, one of the things I noticed about Anthony Joshua, he's very good. He's very good being the pressing fighter, the on-top fighter, the guy that is the landlord without anybody coming to take the keys off the landlord. He's fine like that. But in fights where guys are able to, or Anthony Joshua believes they can take the keys off him, he's very fearful. Now, let me take you back to the Andy Ruiz fight. Before the Andy Ruiz fight, there was rumors coming out of Joshua's camp that Joshua was he was concerned about getting knocked out. Sports psychologist. But then, I think I heard he got concussed in sparring by Joey DeWakeoff. Don't know how true those rumors are. But after that story came out, there was somebody came out in the American media and said, I understand Joshua's seen a sports psychologist. I always bring that thing up about the Andy Ruiz fight, the first fight. Then he had the rematch and he danced around the ring against Andy Ruiz. Those tactics won't work against Ngannou. I'm telling you now, they will not work. They will not work. If Joshua starts to get on his bike and run from Ngannou for 10 rounds, I don't believe they'll work. I really don't. I don't. And if he falls into the trap of believing Ngannou is an inexperienced fighter, think again. Think again. I said this a long time ago about Ngannou. I said if Ngannou goes into boxing, he's going to be a dangerous fighter. Dangerous. Because two-fisted attack, the man has had to do with elbows and kicks. So he's not just had to look after punches being strangled and all sorts of submitted. He's had to do all that stuff. So now he's just look at somebody with a pair of gloves punching him. Sorry. It makes you into a different sort of animal, and the journey Ngannou's gone through. This guy is clear and present danger. And he's not intimidated. Joshua can't intimidate Ngannou. I don't believe he can. You can look at him all he wants. He can't intimidate him, so he can't try them tactics. So now, the tactic, as I said, Joshua doesn't like pressure. He doesn't like being backed up. In fact, if you look at the Andy Ruiz fight, and I said in the Andy Ruiz fight, when you back Joshua up, Joshua's good when he's boxing. Joshua boxes is good. When he starts to fight, Joshua can't fight. Joshua can box. He can't fight. Because when he starts to fight, that's where he leaves himself open to a left hook. If you look at Joshua and his fights where he's been tagged and he's been hurt, it's been when he's been on the attack, when he's not boxing. So he has to go to strict instructions against Ngannou to box against a man who throws wild uppercuts and overhand rights. This is not your typical jab, right hand, left hook job. It really isn't. It isn't. And I believe Ngannou's improved. Like I said, I don't think Joshua handles pressure very well. I in terms of when you pressurize him, when you put the pressure to him, right? If you look at the Usyk fight, the first fight when Joshua tried to put the pressure on Usyk and Usyk stung him with the left hand, and he did the little dance in the third round, fourth round. He's like, Usyk just put him back in his place. As far as I'm concerned, Joshua has a real concern about getting knocked out. So he had that back then with the Ruiz fight. Then going into the Usyk fight, he's wearing a sleeping ring because he had concerns there going into the second fight. So this is the same guy that lost it in his second fight against Usyk. He lost it. He had a mental breakdown. He lost it in the ring. And, you know, must be a hell of a lot of pressure on Anthony Joshua. And I wouldn't want to be in his position at any place, at any time. Regardless of all the money, the amount of pressure that was on him to regain that title. And he couldn't do it against a guy who was better than him on the night. So this is not to poke fun or anything. But this is a guy that had a breakdown. Yeah? And now he's telling us, after the Jermaine Franklin fight and the Otto Walling fight, he's now a mentalist. He's now telling us now that he's going to mentally look to break down Francis Ngannou. He is. This guy is good against a man who's been mentally stable and strong throughout his career. The man to just pull away from the UFC the way he has, that's taken a lot of mental strength and self-esteem to do it when other people would have said don't do it, or they would have threatened him. He did his own thing. So this man Ngannou is a very mentally strong guy. And I don't even know if Joshua's the man to be talking about being a mentalist. And he needs to find out, or he needs to be a chinist. Do you know what it means? Make sure that he can chin in Ngannou before he gets chinned. Because I tell you now, all Ngannou needs to do is step to Joshua, step to him and let his punches go. If he steps to Joshua and he lets his hands go, like he stepped to him mid to close range and he lets his hands go with Joshua on the ropes, Joshua is not going to fire back. When Joshua is hurt, he doesn't fire back. Look at the Ruiz fight, for example. You look at the Usyk fight. When it's on his way, it's fine. But when people start firing punches back at him, and that's what I tell Ngannou, fire them shots back at him. Fire the shots back at him. Fire at him. And you won't get the resistance that people think he'll have. It's okay when he's getting hit by guys who can't punch. But this is a different situation. This is a guy that can punch like a mule. And Tyson Fury has the intangibles that I don't think Joshua has. Do you see Tyson Fury go down, get up, and win? But the only time I've seen Joshua go down, get up and win was against a Klitschko that basically said, you know what? I'm going to wait for you to get up and then get your energy back and then beat the crap out of me. That didn't happen against Ruiz, did it? When Ruiz had him hurt, Ruiz kept him hurt. If you look at the Dillian White fight, he was hurt, but Dillian White was injured. So he couldn't finish the job off. I tell you now, if Ngannou senses blood and he hurts Joshua at any point in time, this fight can be finished early. I'm telling you now. It's a different sort of fight with Fury. He's torn, he's long, gangly, he can fiddle about and stuff. He's a different type of fighter. And the way Ben Davidson and Joshua being, because they keep talking about this old Joshua. If Joshua's overly aggressive in this fight, he gets knocked out. The only way I see Joshua win this fight, for me, is walking Ngannou onto shots. And Ngannou being naive. But I don't think he's not naive. Not the way the British press are making Ngannou to be, oh, he's got no boxing ability. He's 0-1. And listen, politically speaking, Josh Tyson won the fight. Yeah? But we know Tyson got dropped. He threw that illegal elbow, which everyone turns a blind eye to. Ngannou won that fight. Too much money on the line. We know that. So, that's my opinion anyway. I just want to see how Joshua reacts. Not how Ngannou reacts when he gets hit. How Joshua reacts when he gets hit. I trust Ngannou's resistance and determination more than Joshua's. And I think they're at two ends of the scale. I think Ngannou's hungry to become heavyweight champion of the world. I don't know if Joshua is when it comes down to it. That's no disrespect. I think Joshua's a good fighter. But hell no, I wouldn't have taken this fight if I were Joshua. Hell no. Hell no. You win? Well, you're supposed to win. You lose? And you're in a hell of a lot of, everything you've done, you've got beat by Francis Ngannou. Olympic gold medal, 2-time world heavyweight champion, and you got beat. He's got only lost his second pro fight. So, something to think about, people.